an odd one up for you next, and if I'm honest, I'm really not sure how I feel about this particular gentleman. This rose is Thomas A. Becket, bred and introduced by David Austin Roses in 2013 and named in honour of Canterbury Cathedral. Again, another rose that you really need to understand its heritage and its breeding so you know how to handle it. It's more closely related to the species roses than the old roses, and therefore its habit is slightly different. However, I'm still not sure what I make of it, even though I know how to handle it. He is a very strange gentleman with some wonderful characteristics, but some very, very strange habits that I'm not sure that most of you will want to put up with. As you can see, when it flowers, the blooms are absolutely enormous. They really are very, very large and the most extraordinary colour. It's somewhere between a magenta pink and a red. Slight parts of it are crimson, but it's a very, very deep pink and a completely different shape to many of the roses that David Austin are marketing and have bred in the past. The biggest plus on this particular gentleman is the fragrance. The fragrance is absolutely stunning. It really is beautiful, rich and fruity, very, very hybrid tea in its tones. It is lovely, and you can see the side profile of the bloom there. Very, very much like a peony, this very, very deep ruffling from front to back, the petals heading back towards the stem and then going towards the centre eye there. However, as you can see, he is a very, very droopy gentleman. However, the shrub itself is actually really woody, so it's a bit odd. So the stems stand very upright, they're very true. I've had this plant for about 6 years now, and it has stayed a very, very constant size, reaching around 4.5 feet. So it's a fairly small rose. However, the stems, once they get to the top and the actual blooms are formed, they then do this really, really funny drooping thing, all facing very, very down to the ground. So maybe the best thing to do with this particular rose is actually pop it in a pot, and then it's not at ground level and these would be higher. But for now, I'm not entirely sure what to make of Thomas A. Becket. I say a beautiful, beautiful colour, a funny, funny habit, I say, upright in its growth, very, very woody, and then these enormous, huge, pendulous blooms reaching about 4 inches across, and they really are very heavy with the most extraordinary perfume. If you do grow this rose, I've got mine in the ground, but I'm thinking about digging it up and popping it in a pot. My advice to you, if you had this rose, was to pop it in a pot and have it up off the ground, and then these actually may be at eye level rather than facing the floor. But this is Thomas A. Becket from David Austin Roses, and the jury's out with me on this one. I'm not entirely sure what to make of him.